What if I told you that two ordinary-looking American coins could be hiding unimaginable wealth? Coins that once passed through everyday hands, now powerful enough to change a life overnight. One comes from a historic era when America was shaping its future. The other from a moment collectors still chase today. These coins don't scream value, but in the right condition, they could be worth more than houses, more than businesses, even millions. Most people spend them without a second look. But those who know never do. Stay with me, because what you're about to see could already be sitting in your pocket. The coin number one. The year 1979 was not just another chapter in American history. It was a birth moment of a coin that quietly entered pockets, cash registers, and drawers across the United States, hiding a destiny almost no one noticed. The Susan B. Anthony $1 coin arrived during a time of economic uncertainty, social change, and bold experimentation by the U.S. Mint. At first glance, it looked simple, even ordinary, but history often hides its greatest secrets in plain sight. Millions of people spent this coin without a second thought, never imagining that certain examples of this dollar would one day be whispered about in collector circles as symbols of unimaginable wealth, power, and once-in-a-lifetime fortune. What makes the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar so fascinating is not just the metal it's made from, but the story it carries. This coin represents strength, reform, and transformation, honoring a woman who changed the course of American history. But beyond symbolism, some versions of this coin emerge with mysterious qualities, striking details, unusual finishes, and rare characteristics that separated them from the ordinary coins flooding circulation. These rare survivors became the stuff of legends, coins that seasoned collectors speak about with excitement, caution, and deep respect, because they know that value is not created overnight. It is born through rarity, survival, and time. In the world of coin collecting, condition is destiny, and with the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar, condition can mean the difference between a forgotten dollar and a coin that commands staggering attention. Coins that escaped circulation untouched by scratches, wear, and careless handling became silent champions of value. Their surfaces remained sharp, their details bold, their presence powerful. When a coin like this appears, it doesn't just attract buyers. It creates competition, desire, and urgency. In rare cases, such coins are no longer measured in dollars, but in dreams, ambition, and life-changing potential. There are stories, quiet, persistent stories, of people who discovered these coins by accident. A forgotten jar, an old bankroll, a box passed down through generations. What seemed insignificant suddenly transformed into a moment of disbelief and awe. Because when collectors recognize a truly exceptional 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar, the conversation changes instantly. This is no longer pocket change. This is history preserved perfectly against all odds. And history, when preserved flawlessly, becomes priceless in the eyes of those who understand it. The idea that a small coin could carry the power to change a life overnight is not fantasy in the collector world. It is possibility. Value is driven by demand, rarity, and condition, and when all three align, the result can be explosive. The most exceptional examples of the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar are not traded casually. They are protected, studied, admired, and pursued by serious collectors who know that opportunities like this do not repeat themselves easily. These coins are not sold quickly. They are waited for, sometimes for decades. What truly elevates this coin into legendary territory is its place in American monetary history. It marked a bold attempt to redefine everyday currency, to create a dollar coin that could stand alongside tradition while pushing forward into the future. Though misunderstood at the time, history has a way of rewarding what was once overlooked. As years passed, interest grew, supply diminished, and awareness exploded. Suddenly, the coin once ignored became a target, and the hunt began, not just for any 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar, but for the right one. If you hold a 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar today, it is not something to rush, sell, or dismiss. Coins like this demand patience and understanding. The market rewards those who respect rarity and timing. Many people lose potential fortunes not because they lacked opportunity, but because they lacked knowledge. The power of this coin lies not just in what it is, but in knowing what you have before the world reminds you of its worth. Collectors understand one truth very clearly. Wealth often hides behind familiarity. The most valuable coins are rarely the ones that look flashy. They're the ones that survive quietly, waiting for the right moment to be recognized. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar stands as a reminder that history does not shout, it whispers. And those who listen closely may find themselves standing at the edge of a financial transformation they never expected. So before you spend that dollar, before you dismiss it as ordinary, take a moment to look again. Because history has proven time and time again that fortunes are not always made through noise and speed, but through patience, awareness, and respect for the past. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony $1 coin is more than metal. It is a silent contender in the world of legendary American coins, carrying the potential to turn a single moment of attention into a lifetime of change. The coin number 2. The 1955 Franklin half dollar was born in a powerful moment of American confidence, when the nation was redefining prosperity, strength, and identity after immense historical change. This coin did not enter circulation loudly or dramatically. Instead, it moved quietly to the hands of everyday Americans, carrying the calm face of Benjamin Franklin, one of the greatest minds in history. At the time, few understood that certain examples of this half dollar were not just currency, but sleeping giants. Coins like this often hide their destiny well, blending into ordinary life while quietly waiting for history, rarity, and time to awaken their true power. What makes the 1955 Franklin half dollar so captivating is the balance between simplicity and authority. Its design speaks of intelligence, patience, and legacy rather than aggression or flash. Yet behind that calm appearance lies a story of survival. Only a limited number of these coins escape the harsh reality of circulation without damage, wear, or loss of detail. Those that did survive in exceptional condition became something entirely different from the rest. They transformed from money into artifacts that collectors see not just as metal, but as preserved moments of American history. In the world of rare coins, condition is everything, and for a 1955 Franklin half dollar, condition can elevate it from a modest collectible into a coin that commands extraordinary attention. Coins with sharp bell lines, untouched surfaces, and original brilliance exist in a completely different universe from worn examples. These rare survivors are not common, not replaceable, and not easily found. When one appears, it doesn't simply attract interest. It creates tension, desire, and competition among those who understand what perfection truly means in numismatics. There are stories, real, powerful stories, of Franklin half dollars discovered where no one thought to look. Family safes, old collections forgotten for decades, bank boxes untouched since another era. These discoveries feel unreal, almost cinematic, because the value was never obvious at first glance. The coin looked ordinary until someone looked closer, understood deeper, and realized that rarity is not loud. It is quiet, patient, and often disguised as something familiar. The idea that a single coin could carry unimaginable wealth is not fantasy in the collector world. It is history repeating itself. Value does not come from metal alone. It comes from scarcity, preservation, and desire. The most extraordinary 1955 Franklin half dollars are not bought impulsively. They are chased, studied, and waited for. Serious collectors know that when an opportunity like this appears, it may not return for a lifetime. That is why such coins are never rushed to market and never sold cheaply by those who understand their potential. The Franklin half dollar also holds a unique place in American coinage because it represents thought over force, wisdom over power. This philosophical weight adds to its appeal, making it more than just a collectible. It becomes symbolic. Over time, as fewer pristine examples remain and awareness continues to grow, the gap between ordinary coins and extraordinary ones becomes enormous. What was once overlooked slowly rises, and when it does, the rise is not gentle, it is explosive. If you hold a 1955 Franklin half dollar today, it is not something to spend casually or dismiss as small change. Coins like this demand respect, research, and patience. Many people lose life-changing opportunities not because they lacked luck, but because they lacked understanding. The market does not reward haste. It rewards knowledge. And knowledge turns ordinary objects into extraordinary assets when the timing is right. Collectors often say that the greatest fortunes are hidden inside the most familiar objects. The Franklin half-dollar proves this truth beautifully. It does not shout its value. It does not demand attention. It waits. And when the world finally catches up to its rarity and condition, the response can be overwhelming. This is how quiet coins become legendary, through survival, patience, and recognition. So before you let that 1955 Franklin half-dollar slip through your fingers, pause. Look again. History has shown that coins like this have the power to redefine lives, not because they promise instant riches, but because they reward those who see beyond the surface. In the right condition, at the right moment, this coin holds the ability to turn a forgotten piece of the past into a future-changing force, one that can rewrite fortune overnight.